Hey guys, and welcome to the very final BVI Pilots podcast for the year 2020. A lot's happened this year. BVI Pilots, the podcast, was born. So was BVI Virtual. We've had various events, learnt a lot. TFM's advanced. So much has gone on, and I'll give you my personal highlights in a second. What this podcast is going to contain is the year in review as narrated by many of our BVI pilots. I've been asking people to send me 5-minute or so clips of their favourite parts of the year, what they've learnt and what they're looking forward to next year, and that's what they've been doing. So we have a selection of those clips to play for you. Each of them will introduce themselves, and I hope you enjoy on the final podcast of the year. So in terms of what's happened over the past few weeks, I'll give you a very quick rundown. We had the BVI virtual event going from Dublin to Boston. It went pretty okay. We had some fun oceanic control, great control at Dublin. Some people had issues on approach with VATSIM and Tramp, but they have figured out the causes of that, and a few of us managed to land. It was very busy actually, Boston, with the weather and the control, but we have been communicating with the Boston controllers, and we plan to do another event into Boston airspace, not the airport. It's actually going to be Bradley Airport on the 9th of January to get involved and have them control us again, but more on that in the new year. The Fly and See Santa event on VATSIM also took place, which I took part in. I have to say it's probably my favourite event of this year on VATSIM. Controllers were super friendly, pilots were all really happy coming up to Christmas. We held for 3 hours at 3 different holding points, and a flight that should have taken a couple hours took 5. But it was a great flight. I really enjoyed it, going into Norway, in towards the Lapland area for Fly and See Santa on VATSIM. We do want to talk a little bit about the importance of figuring out how to hold, which I think we've talked before, but also the importance of things like reading your approach briefings ahead of time, just some little pointers that we picked up from the BVI virtual event, but we're going to talk about those probably in the new year. So in terms of my personal highlights, the Fly and See Santa event was probably one of my favourites. Being able to complete Cross the Pond when we landed, that was a great moment. I think the TFM advances, it's become a staple of the simming experience, and we know what's coming with that. And as much as we don't like Tramp, we have to give it some credit. It's come a long way this year for us. Specifically, I think the ability to have SIDS and star waypoints in the main flight plan, which has really helped us in being able to fly on VATSIM. Also the discovery of the Microsoft Flight Simulator version, which is actually a lot less laggy in a separate window. All of that's helped massively, I think, with Tramp and our confidence on VATSIM. VATSIM has been the centre of my flying this year, really, and that's been really fun to use it pretty much for most flights. So I hope you all have a great holiday, a great Christmas, and a happy new year. We will see you in the new year. But now for the next 30-40 minutes, sit back and enjoy all these clips while the rest of the BVI pilots take you through what they've enjoyed about this year. It's been a pleasure presenting the podcast with Johnny this year, and all the guests, all the people who've stepped in since we started this in the summer, and we look forward to continuing it next year as well. And Johnny's going to speak to you in just a moment from his clip that he sent. Have a great Christmas.
Hey everyone, John here. Simming is something that I never knew about until almost a year ago. Not even a year. I've been flying. And I've learned a lot. When I first started, I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to load a plane. I didn't know how to create flight plans. I didn't know any of that. And some friends came together and started to show me how to fly. And now, I can say that I'm not the best, but I've learned a lot. And I know some people might think of it, oh, big deal. So you guys fly planes. And some people might think of it a game. Well, it's not a game. There's real experience behind flying a plane, even on a sim. There's a lot of education behind it. I've learned a lot about airplanes since I've been simming. You know, if you would ask me a year ago what thrust was, or reverse thrust, or what a glide slope was, or an IOS, I would have no idea what you're talking about. But today I do. And I thank my friends and the rest of the BVI community for that, because we all pitch in and we help each other and we have fun. Then we go online with the VAT Sim and we get to experience what a real pilot will experience. Obviously, it's going to be a little different because it's online. It's not, us being in a real plane up in the air. But the experience is there. The example of what it's like, it comes really close. And they take it serious. You can't just go on there and say, hey, I want to fly. Take me to runway 3. I'm going to get out of here. You can't do that. So I'm really excited to see what the future is going to bring. We've came a long ways with the programs that we use, the technology. I mean, we can fly a plane on the sim just like decided. And that's because of the programmers and because of all of us coming together to help each other. So if you've never been in a sim and you've thought about it, you're going to regret that you didn't check it out sooner.
Tulips to Toronto crashed. Across the Pond crashed. Learned something, yes, from both of those events. We learned how to get the iOS properly. A2A support in the old Talking Flight Monitor, that was really good, until I just got bored of flying the things because either I just wanted to do something else or something wasn't working or something like that. BVI Pilots event, well, we all remember that one. That was fun for the most part, but on the serious side there were things we needed to learn, and I think we're still in the process of learning from that, which birthed also that week. No less than 48 hours later, BVI Virtual was born. That is the airline for blind pilots. I absolutely love assisting with running that. It's one of the most loved things I've been doing recently. Like, I've put the time in to do these 20-21 hour long hauls, or 16, 17 hours, to earn us virtual money, to buy us planes, to allow us to expand, to allow us to do what we want with the airline, and for it not just to be something that's stuck in the US or stuck in Europe because of, our financial situation. That then brings me on to Cross the Pond. I did that for BVI Virtual. It was the plan for everyone involved to do it with BVI Virtual. My PC crashed and restarted. I think it must have overheated. So I couldn't actually complete it with BVI Virtual, but FS Airlines, one of their admins, was very helpful, and he actually told the system to predict the results, and it was a little bit off, but it did predict sort of what I would have earned based on that algorithm. Then that brings me on to Flying Sea Santa. That was after Cross the Pond's wow factor, I didn't know what could top it, because we nearly stalled on Flying Sea Santa, because FS Tramp showed its idiosyncrasies, but we pulled out. Holds, tick. Reroutes, tick. Climbs to the point where we're probably going to stall, tick. Controller's been accommodating even without a slot, hectic. The slot system, I have to admit, is just not useful at all on that event, because you got 600, 700 people, and they practically did nothing about it. They just got you all down. They got everyone down safely. It was a damn shame I couldn't do that on VATSIM. The BVI virtual event, Oceanic ticked. I dusted my skills off with that. I thought it was going to be ADSB, so I was really annoyed when the guy asked for a position report. But, I dusted my skills off, it came out okay, we landed, and it did the airline some good, so yeah, tick. And what else? Upcoming in 2021, Flying Sea Santa, I'm definitely going to do that next Christmas if it's still going. We may even have TFM and all the PMDG 738 to try that with. To be able to go full realism on that, if we could, that would just be a dream come true, because the PMDG stuff is coming along. It's not going to be ready for a few months, but when it is ready and it can be implemented, and we can use it without the fear of crashing, I'm really going to take advantage of that and do Flying Sea Santa. I'm sure there's probably going to be a few other people that do it in full realism mode, PMDG / Aerosoft, depending on what's out. Flying in there, doing everything by the book, by the published tutorials. So yeah, Flying Sea Santa, across the pond, TFM, another BVI virtual event that we're going to do. That's going to be interesting, San Jose to Boston. That's still being sorted out, but yeah, it's more or less confirmed, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to do it. Those are my top 4. If doing Flying Sea Santa with Tramp, which shows its idiosyncrasies all too often, isn't an achievement, somebody get in this vocal booth, pick up the microphone and tell me what is. Because, wow, across the pond down Flying Sea Santa, they were both really good. Really enjoyed that.
Hello everyone, this is Robin, and I am recording this message while cruising at flight level 380 at a Boeing 737-800 on my way from Alicante, Spain to London Gatwick. Of course, I'm not doing this flight in real life, I am doing it in the sim, and it is currently Sunday afternoon, so I am fully aware that I can probably expect a pretty much fully staffed London Gatwick airport with lots of traffic going in and out, so it's probably going to be busy, and I'm probably going to get vectors going in, and it's probably not going to be the quickest approach. And the great thing is I know that I'll probably be able to get in there without too much trouble, thanks to all the wonderful stuff that has happened this year for us BVI pilots. Going back to early this year, we really didn't have a lot of the stuff that we have now. Talking Flight Monitor was still called Flight Following back then, and yes, it could give you some information about your flight, but it couldn't really read all the instruments and the various autopilot settings and switches and all that wonderful stuff that I can do now. We also, back then, didn't really have a lot of good insights into how to fly a proper ILS approach, for instance. I mean, it was basically all like, let Tramp do the thing, and let Tramp basically have us flying towards the runway and descend via its own glide slope, or descent path rather, instead of following the ILS glide slope. And there was just so much stuff that we couldn't really control because we were missing critical information. Going back to that ILS example, we had no idea when we had captured it. We had no idea how well we were doing in terms of holding the glide slope, and it was pretty much a lot of it was just up to chance and up to a matter of luck. And yes, we could get things done somewhat reliably, but there were definitely these unfortunate cases where it was like, something weird happened, and now we're not flying the heading that we're supposed to be flying at, and the controllers are getting concerned and maybe yelling at us because there's other traffic, and we're just causing chaos that the controller then has to sort out. A lot of that thanks to all the information we now get through Talking Flight Monitor, plus the new things we've learned over the course of this year. That's really no longer the case for the most part. I would say there is now a good 90 to 95% chance of us being able to actually fly successfully and even make it into airports that are super busy with lots of stuff happening. I mean, there's 3 of us, myself included, who successfully completed Cross the Pond eastbound 2020 this year, which that's just a significant milestone. And speaking of that, I think another huge milestone for us this year was the formation of BVI Virtual, our own airline. It's really brought us closer together as a community, I believe, and it's made it possible for us to plan events and do more things together as a community. So I think there is so much wonderful stuff that has happened this year, and really a lot of that stuff is just getting started. BVI Virtual only came into being a couple months ago, and so there is lots of cool stuff to look forward to next year, and I am really excited. So thanks to everyone involved in all these projects. It's been a fantastic year for us and for blind flight simming, and I am really looking forward to what the next year will bring. So with that being said, my transmission is over, and I wish a happy new year and always blue skies to everybody out there. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. This is Brandon, and we have had such an exceptional year this year in 2020 for the flight simming community, specifically for those of us with visual impairments. We started out with Tramp, which I did this year. I got back into flight simming after a 3-year hiatus, and I've been having a lot of fun. We've been testing Talking Flight Monitor, which has been an absolute joy to do. And it's incredible where we've come this year, just from the beginning of 2020 to now with Talking Flight Monitor and Tramp. At the beginning of the year, we weren't able to really do much with Talking Flight Monitor, such as fueling our aircraft, checking the weights, and now it's just becoming better and better and better. So, I've been asked, what am I looking forward to in 2021? Well, a many number of things. I'm looking forward to being able to fly the PNDG aircraft, the 737, with Talking Flight Monitor. I'm also looking forward to doing a complete flight with Talking Flight Monitor itself, and being able to do a flight from start to finish. I'm really looking forward to just the overall accessibility and the inclusiveness of pilots in the community and doing more events, because we've had a lot of fun doing events on VATSIM and educating people on how we do flights and what types of specialized software we use. That's been a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to doing more of that. Also looking forward to, as I said, doing more events and just basically seeing if we can get more people to join the flight simming community and fly alongside us and just have a lot of fun. And pretty much, see where we can get. Maybe we can get more aircraft in the mix. Besides the 737, maybe we can start working on other models of variants of PNDG aircraft, which would be cool. I'm hearing, I think we're going to have a 747 in the works, which is really awesome. I'm looking forward to that very much as well. And that's pretty much all I have. And I've just had a wonderful year. I've had a fantastic year, like I said, with you guys. Really enjoyed doing the events, especially the one a couple of weeks ago when we went to Boston. Really look forward to doing more of these events in the future. And really just look forward to working with all of you again and improving our flying and teaching others how to fly. And basically just looking forward to hanging out. It's a lot of fun. I never get bored with flight. I never get bored with hanging out and doing events or talking about aviation in general. It's one of my favorite subjects, and it's refreshing to be able to come into contact with a like-minded community and be able to enjoy the same hobbies. So, thank you all again for a wonderful year. Fantastic events, fantastic software, fantastic camaraderie, and I really, really look forward to much, much more within the new year. I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday season, and we will see you guys in 2021. Have safe and happy holidays, and we'll see y'all in 2021.
Hi, this is Andy, TFM developer, and I'm here along with many others to tell my biggest moments in 2020 with simming. So the first one is getting involved in the community. Started back in March-ish of 2020, and at that point I never even knew how to sim, even though I wanted to at some point know how. The problem was not being able to see. Basically left that an impossible task to do, and so I found out about TFM, Talking Flight Monitor, and that changed everything. And then I got involved in helping expand it. So that is my biggest points of 2020, and being in a community of people that support you and look out for you is another big thing. So some of the big things for TFM, it went from a small Python app to monitor where you were at and some of the airplane's gauges, and now it is practically a flight management system all by itself. So partly because of me, partly because of Jason. So that is what I have to say, at least for now. So have a good, fun rest of the year. And to those who do the Christmas thing, Merry Christmas. To those who don't, Happy Holidays.
Hello there, everybody. Well, I'd like to talk slightly about the year that I've had with flight simming so far, and it's been a good one. Basically, for me, flight simming has changed a lot because of the new VATSIM codec, which actually came out in 2019, but I actually started using it in April of this year, maybe early February. But the biggest thing for me has been TFM, or Talking Flight Monitor, and that started in 2019, so last year, at the time of this recording, and it has grown. And what will it be by next year? I don't know. What it has grown into is a very advanced autopilot that is better than anything that I have used in the 2 years that I have been flight simming. And that, I think, is really good. That, I think, is the best thing that I have seen so far in the year that I have been doing flight simming. Flight simming has advanced, especially with prepared version 5, which I don't use, but I have heard from others that there are some accessibility changes, which is progress. So let's go out there. Let's tell the world that we exist through whatever means possible. Let's educate, and let's go build something awesome.
Well, as I said at the beginning, I hope you all enjoyed those clips and that you got an idea of the year in review for our BVI pilots. Obviously, different for everyone, but I think we can all agree VATSIM events and TFM have pretty much been the mainstays of this year. We've learnt a lot. And again, happy Christmas. Have a great time with the family in the holidays if you indeed celebrate that. And me and Johnny will both see you in the new year for more of the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed it this year.